speechless, but it is kind of a speechless moment to stand and be acknowledged like this, and particularly so by someone like Pam, who means so much to me. In late 70s and early 80s, Michigan embarked down a road with pretty much every other state in the country. And it was a road where citizens were tired of crime and criminals. And in an attempt that made sense at the time to bring that under control, made some changes in sentencing, made some changes in how corrections was run, and over a period of time, more than quadrupled the size of the prison system in both our state and nationally. Michigan didn't do anything that wasn't happening all around the country. There clearly was a belief that if we did this, we would change the crime rates in the country, and that this would have an impact. It would be decades later before we as a state and a country realized that, in fact, there was not a lot of correlation between locking people up and crime rates, and there was less correlation between how long we locked them up. And we sit now in the country with by far the highest incarceration rate in the world at more than 700 people per 100,000 citizens. The average is under 200 people per 100,000. A great irony of this is it was that huge growth that brought me to the Department of Corrections. In the 80s, as Michigan was building prisons and siting them everywhere we could put them, I lived in the town of Sault Ste. Marie in the Upper Peninsula. We had already converted the Air Force Base there to a prison, and we're building 3 or 4 more in that community. And the local warden had met me and literally spent a year recruiting me to come and work for the department because we were growing so fast, they needed people to come. And in 1988, I started with the Michigan Department of Corrections. It was the start of a journey that I never would have anticipated I was going to go on, and representative of a lot of opportunities and a lot of people in our department. I'd like just for 1 second to ask, would the current and former members of employees of the Michigan Department of Corrections, would you just stand for just a second? All of you are in the room, representing the thousands of men and women over the years. I thank you for this award and this opportunity. Make no mistake that I know I have a big voice, figuratively and literally, trust me. But sometimes that's all I brought to the table, despite the nice things Pam said. That was kind of my role. The work these folks do, and all of the thousands of men and women beside them and behind them, are why we were able to change the culture in our department. So the irony that brought me in when I found myself as the director in 2003, now I owned the 5th largest prison system in the United States, and an untenable and unsustainable situation. And when I went to these folks and said, we have to do something differently, they embraced it and we did it. A couple of weeks ago, there was a national report produced by the Pew Foundation that looked at incarceration in the United States over a period of years. And the state that was recognized that it had the most successful population reduction was the state of Michigan. You hate in a situation like this just to acknowledge individual people because you're always going to miss people. There are a couple I'm going to mention regardless. One is someone who is here, one of my dear friends and mentor, one of my predecessors, Bob Brown, former director of our department. Bob took a chance on a 30-something-year-old woman and made her the warden of a 2,000-bed male prison that was in a whole bunch of trouble. And he always says if he didn't take a chance on me, he took one hell of a chance on me, let me tell you that. And we're both lucky, it worked out great. And I appreciated his support, and his support has continued every day, from the day he appointed me as warden until today. And that he and his beautiful wife Joy are here tonight is exemplified by that. My friends Pam Withrow and Luella Burke, my friend Sharon Johnson-Ryan, who's here from Tennessee, the very first day I was a warden, I was at the warden's meeting, and these women came up to me and invited me into the group. In prison lingo, I had nothing coming. Trust me, I had nothing coming. They never treated me like that. They made me feel part of it, and they supported me and helped me, and there was never a time when I didn't know I could ask them for advice or for help. You have no idea in a business like that how much that means. It's incredible. My colleague Mary Burgess is here. We're wardens together. Mary's been a warden a long time. Barb Bouchard and Sally Alec, we worked together for years. More than 9 years as the warden at Chippewa, they were beside me that entire time. Heidi Washington, warden in our system now, was my assistant most of the time I was director. Became my very dear friend, stood by me in some very difficult times. I have some personal friends who are here. The girlfriends. We're known as the girlfriends in Lansing, the 8.5 years I lived in Lansing. Girlfriends table, wave. Dan, Nancy, Nellie's at a different table. Liz, Cindy, they're all here. And my dear girlfriend Doris, who traveled from Sault Ste. Marie to be here with me. And I know I'm picking and choosing, and I apologize for that. I'd be remiss if I did not acknowledge someone who stood by me when it was very difficult, and that's Governor Jennifer Granholm. She appointed me to this position. I had never met her. I never met her before she was elected governor. I did not come out of her campaign. I came out of the department as a corrections professional in the midst of an extremely difficult re-election campaign. We had a horrible incident happen. There were those who were calling for my head. The easiest thing for her to do would have been to give it to them and make her life easier. And instead, she stood up for me and for our department. And I remain in touch with her. In fact, I had dinner with her a few months ago. And she, of course, is an inductee into the Hall of Fame from, I think, 7 or 8 years ago. And so my message in all of this is that I'm honored, I'm thrilled to accept this award, but I do it through the hands and the help of many other people. My colleagues, professionally and personally, who are here tonight and those they represent, are why I'm standing here, and not for any other reason. And I'm grateful to all of them for the love and the support they have provided me over many, many years. And I thank you very much for this acknowledgement. Thank you.